Germany first invaded Belgium in August of 1914, marking the beginning of World War I. Everyone sincerely believed that the war would be short and result in minimal damage. This belief was wrong, very wrong. World War I resulted in a type of war the world had previously never seen or experienced: total war. Battles reached a new level of deadly and violent with the use of weapons the Industrial Revolution had just created. World War I affected not only Europe, but the Middle East, Africa, East Asia, and the US. After the German invasion, Belgium defended itself and then joined with the British Army Corps for more protection. Meanwhile, Russian armies had immediately attacked eastern Germany, and German troops were forced to draw back and transfer their troops east. The Germans had planned to easily capture Paris, but instead found themselves marching slowly along an enormous front under the blazing summer sun. The French took advantage of this and attacked the German line, and after a long and expensive battle, Germany fell back. The two armies had reached a stalemate, so they began to dig trenches to protect themselves from machine gun fire. Trench warfare resulted in staggering deaths and little territory. Nations who had learned military tactics and strategy in the 19th century didn't know how to fight trench warfare, and their lack of knowledge resulted in mass losses for years. 3 miles was all the territory gained from the fighting between the French and British in 1915. 420,000 British, 200,000 French, and 600,000 Germans were killed or wounded trying to defend a piece of land that had no real importance or value. The war at the Eastern Front was dominated by Germany by 1915, as Germany had won the battles of Tannenberg and the Masurian Lakes. Although 2.5 million Russians were killed, wounded, or captured by the Germans occupying Russian territory, Russia was still not defeated. Germany installed a military government to keep order in the territories. The administration had an anti-Slavic prejudice, as they saw the Russians as mongrels. War prisoners and refugees were used for forced laborers, and their resources got sent to Germany or used for the military. A third of the Russian population were killed or became refugees. In hope for territory, Italy left the Triple Alliance and joined the Triple Entente instead, in May of 1915. In October of 1914, the Ottoman Empire and Bulgaria joined Austria and Germany, who were then known as the Central Powers. With the expansion of the Central Powers, the war started spreading towards the Middle East. With new violence between the Ottomans and the Russians erupting in the Middle East, the Armenians, people who had lived on both sides of the border, were caught in between. When the Armenians tried to help Russia, the Ottoman Empire required a mass deportation, also known as the Armenian Genocide, for all Armenians from the Ottomans. 1 million innocent civilians died from murder, starvation, and disease. Not only were innocent people being murdered, but the British were trying to seize land. When the British realized their plans weren't working, they turned to persuading Arabs to revolt. Their most important player was the Arab leader Huzan, the direct descendant of Muhammad and the chief magistrate. He managed to win Britain commitments for an independent Arab kingdom in 1915. He joined the British. Not only did the war spread to the Middle East, but the United States also declared war on Germany in 1917. With the beginning of the war, Britain and France established a naval blockade on Germany, which they retaliated with by building a submarine. Not only was the submarine deadly, claiming more than 1,000 lives, 139 of them were U.S. citizens. Because of this, the U.S. had decided to join the war, and their service helped tip the balance in favor of the Triple Entente.